Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Top 25 Power Rankings, where I go over the top 25 teams in LOL Esports. Keep in mind, I am a fan, not an analyst nor a scout. Don't claim to be. Although a lot of people in the comments claim to be analysts and scouts, I do not. I watch all four major regions, all the games. Minor regions I do not watch. So there are a couple minor region teams in here that I put in here without watching. Very stats based. If you join the Discord, you will see that I post the complete power rankings 1 through 98, top 25, and then 26 through 98 is algorithm based and how they just fit in. In addition to me inserting LPL teams in there because the LPL doesn't have the stats. Um, Available publicly. So, gotta wing it with the LPL, which is fine because I watch the LPL, so I have an idea of what I think these teams are like. So, this week, um, LEC starting up this weekend again, so we're going with a blank slate for everybody. So, winter didn't happen as far as record goes. And then, so keep that in mind when we're doing this. So, first things first, the two teams that are out, Golden Guardians drop out. They went 1-1 last week. Um, and SK drop out, hence the LEC thing. I do like SK a lot. I think that they have a lot of potential to. I think, honestly, I said it during winter. I think that they could be the fourth seed going to Worlds. I really could see that if they continue to get better as time goes along. But as of right now, I do not have them in the top 25 because of the changes made by other teams in the LEC. Now, the regions that are not represented on here, we have Japan, DFM are 44th. CBLOL, Brazil, Fluxo are 62nd. Latin America, Astral are 73rd. And then for the LCO, Pentanet Gaming are 90th. So that is the power rankings. Actually, I think it's 97 teams now that Peace has been disbanded. So 90th out of 97, the LCO are in the dumpster. So 25th on the power rankings, returning. What marker am I looking for? This one. Returning to the top 25 are EG. They went 2-0 this past week, beating TSM and beating FlyQuest. That is a very important win. They're 9-4 on the year, third in the LCS. We have to keep in mind. Honestly, in my opinion, they remind me a lot of 100 Thieves. I think maybe someday an FBI have something to do with that, but also just a very slow team. We see Inspired and Jojo Pune sometimes. Well, Jojo Pune sometimes in his face-off. I feel like Inspired's held back. I really think EG can be better if Inspired could take more of a carry role, but unfortunately, this meta has him limited to only some champions. I think if they really unleashed him, they could be a lot better. Dropping 8 spots, the biggest drop of the week is RNG. They've lost 3 series in a row at least. Last week, going into the power rankings, they just lost to Anyone's Legend. And then they lost to Top Esports this past week, which is fine. They were here, Topper over there. That's reasonable. You lost to a team that I don't think you're better than, anyways. But they lost to BLG, who is right here. 3 losses in a row. RNG are falling off the wagon. The CEO was getting involved, screwing around with mid lane. The coach, now it's saying Zhao Bei. Xiao Bei, I don't know if based on their Wikipedia, they do not have a lot of coaching experience. RNG, I think, like on paper, their team is top 25, but they are just not performing that way at all. 23rd are Thunder Talk. They return to the top 25. Thunder Talk have been in and out of the top 25 all year, teetering on that line. They're 7-4. They went 2-0 this past week, beating FPX and Rare Atom, two of the bottom 4 teams in the LPL, at least based on some metrics I'm looking at. Rare Atom, in addition, Rare Atom really don't have like a really, really elite player. Like Really, they're swapping out supports now. Strive is a very young player with potential, but I wouldn't consider him elite. Where Thunder Talk have actually done some interesting things, had some fun team compositions that I thought really allowed UCal to thrive and Hoya to thrive. And they went back to Yao Yao despite beating FPX. They went back to Yao Yao for Rare Atom series, and it worked out for them. I hope they keep the Yao Yao situation going. 22nd, moving up 2 spots, is GAM. GAM from Vietnam are 4-0. Obviously, Vietnam taking a game off of Top Esports at Worlds. Saigon Buffalo taking a game off of Mad Lions at Worlds. We saw Saigon Buffalo take games off of G2 at MSI, a region that has to be respected. GAM Esports 4-0, 2-0 this past week, beating, they go by box. MGN or MGB is their, I don't know, abbreviation or whatever, but it's like something box esports or whatever. The team stinks. Teams might be one of the worst teams in the world. And then they beat Cerberus this past weekend, which is a valid team. So Gamma 22nd. 21st, dropping 4 spots are Koi. So taking stats out of it for the LEC now, before this weekend's games. Koi, top lane's an issue. Gisgenda needs to be given carries. He's better on carries, which is going to be weird because Larson likes to play more carry-oriented champions, kind of scale and deal a lot of damage. Gisgenda, his 4 most played champions when he thrived in ERLs, Camille, Gwen, Akali, and Gangplank. He only had 1 Gangplank game this past split out of those 4 champions, instead being put on champions that he really isn't as good on. And don't get me wrong, that's a problem. I think you should be able to play a little bit of anything when it comes to how your team wants to play. You have to have a couple champions in each, bucket when it comes to, are you going to play facilitator, you're going to play carry, you're going to play tank, you're going to do this or that. Like, you need to have something available that you can play and not int. And Cisgenda did struggle at times. But Koi, still a very good team. So they're 20th. 21st, sorry. 20th, dropping 7 spots are BLG. You may say to yourself, that's a lot to drop for a team that went 1-1 this past week. But they're 6-5. They're really coin flippy. Honestly, they're kind of pissing me off. Beat RNG 2-1. The way RNG are playing, good for you. Like, they're dropping to here. I don't know what the hell they're doing. As far as their loss, it was to LGD. LGD are one of the worst teams in the 4 major regions. They're in Immortals, Nongshim territory when it comes to being bad. So for them to lose to BLG, for BLG to lose to LGD, that's pretty bad. So they're dropping here. We have other teams that are moving around in the LPL, and it's causing the LPL hierarchy to go all over the place. So they're 20th. 18th are IG. 19th. Moving up, the Galera is +6. IG are now 7-5. They went 2-0, beat Rare Atom and Ultra Prime. Very similar to the Thunder Talk situation. A team that took care of business against 2 teams that were pretty bad. So Ultra Prime, I think, is slightly better than the FPX matchup, only because Ultra Prime has Doggo, and Doggo is, I think, in my opinion, not like an elite AD carry, but he has a bright future. He's a very good player that's kind of been screwed ever since he left the PCS. So IG 9th, 19th, good team. On and Wink, doing well. We want to see more out of Wink when it comes to engaged champions to kind of sell me. Dove and Gideon, I think, are a little topped out when it comes to potential. So, I think they're going to go as far as the bot lane can take them, because YS Cam, I do not believe, is the same player he was before he went to the hospital. 18th are PSG, moving up 2 spots. And we know PSG are no slouch. Historically, they perform very well at international events. They are competitive. The PCS's top team usually is a team that you must respect. We saw PSG be very competitive at MSI. We saw CFO take a game off of 100 Thieves, which I'm not saying 100 Thieves is a world beater, but PSG were, very obviously was CFO at Worlds, but PSG were very, very competitive at MSI. So PSG 18th. Ever since Junjia got there, they're much better. They're 13-2 on the year and 3-0 this past week, beating Beyond Gaming, which is a top 10 minor region team, Hell Pigs and Dewish team. Those two other teams not very good, but the Beyond Gaming win is pretty significant. That is all for minor regions teams on this board. 17th are C9, moving up 2 spots. C9, 10-3, beat 100 Thieves, beat Dignitas. No. I screwed up. They're supposed to be 16th. The glare is on an arrow that I had between 17th and 16th on my other board. I have another board that I'm using for notes. So, C9 is supposed to be 16th. 10-3, 2-0, beat 100 Thieves, beat Dignitas. I think that they're getting better. I listened to Sven's interview, and I agree. And obviously, he's a little biased because he's on the team. But I do think they're getting better as time goes along. They have to get used to Eminez, who is a completely different player than Diplex. And that's clear as day. And Eminez also, like Diplex, is a rookie when it comes to a major region like this. So C9 is supposed to be 16th. I think that they're definitely the second best team in the they're in the conversation with EG and Golden Guardians for some. And I believe that honestly, I wouldn't be shocked at all if C9 ends up going to MSI as the first seed. I think that it's entirely feasible out of the LCS. Now, the team that's supposed to be 17th that are 16th are OMG. So if people skipped around to the end, they're going to be like, oh, this is out of order, but it's just going to show that they skipped to the end. They didn't want to hear why teams are where they are. They just kind of want to comment down below with why is this team where it is, because I didn't listen. I didn't have the capability. I'm not competent enough to listen. So, which is fine. I mean, I should probably do better subtitles if, I understand some people might have difficulties. They are competent. They just have to use subtitles. Now, the other people that skip around like assholes, they like to have their opinion known because I guess like mommy and daddy didn't listen to them when they were younger or something. It doesn't make any sense. But OMG 6-4, supposed to be 17th, 2-0, beat NIP, beat JDG. That's why they moved up. Now they are a coin flippy team like Thunder Talk, RNG, BLG. That's why these teams are all here. We don't know what version we're getting of these teams every week. We don't. OMG, I had in the top 25 when the season started. I thought they were a good team. Shanji and Cream need to take the next step. And Cream looked good this past couple series. So Shanji, mixed bag. Cream looking a little better. And then PP God's really bringing this team together as well. 15th HLE. Moving down 1 spot. HLE beat Nongshim, lost to D+. Losing to D+, not all that big of a deal. D+, I think, are a really, really good team. You'll see on the tier list, they're in the second tier. HLE are not in that tier, at least right now, and I don't think they were the week before. So losing to D+, being Nongshim, that's pretty straight up for HLE. I don't expect much else out of them. They play KT tomorrow. That is a big test because KT are looking really good, and HLE got smoked by him last time. So that's kind of the deal with that. 13th and 14th, Vitality and Mad Lions. Vitality up 6. Mad Lions up 1. So, Mad Lions finished second in winter. That's great for them because of Vitality, because G2 is somewhere in here, surprise. If Vitality finished second, and as long as Mad Lions don't finish 6th, and hell, they finish 4th, they're going to go to MSI and Vitality isn't. So this is just, Vitality has to win pretty much after doing so poorly in winter, which is why I want to preface this by saying this could be either way. I really think Vitality has to prove something. They have to prove that they're capable of playing without inting. That has to be done by the players that have been inting. That's pretty simple and straightforward. Mad Lions do not int. I said it all in winter, and I'll say it right now. You have to play your best against Mad. If you do not play your best, they will beat you. And that's as simple as that. They are a skill check team. They gatekeep when it comes to who wants to be good or great versus good. And that's sort of the deal there. Mad Lions, 14th, Vitality 13th. 12th, dropping 6 spots, or Sandbox. Losing to KT isn't a big deal. Losing to KDF probably is. KDF, a very, very competitive team. Don't get me wrong. Sandbox and KDF are actually on the same tier in the algorithm right now. Statistically, they've been performing similarly, competitiveness-wise. Obviously, the win-loss is very different. 8-6 versus 3-11. That's massive. But the fact of the matter is, they lost to KDF. That's not acceptable. Sandbox, in my opinion, are the 6th best team of the top 6. But obviously they were here last week, and they had earned that right. I'm not going to take a team and keep them from there when they've had wins against teams that are also up there. They have won against KT. I think they have won against D+. They have wins against good teams. So now things are starting to even out for them. But we can't ignore the fact that they are 1-1 against these teams, which makes them pretty much even as far as hierarchies go when you look at them. But nevertheless, the players are what they are. And 16th is where they sit. 11th are FlyQuest. They went 1-1. I was not going to put them below Sandbox. Frankly, I think that Fly are better than Sandbox on paper. Obviously, Sandbox, like I said, outperforming everybody going into last week. This week, losing to the Freaks, really not a good look. And losing to KT were in 10th. They were going to fall, so they fall appropriately. But 11-2 for FlyQuest, 1-1, CLG, EG, losing to EG, not great. But at the same time, I do not think they're below Sandbox. I do not think they're below Vitality, Mad Lions, or HLE. So they just stick at 11th as, other teams just frankly do worse, which is kind of the way it is. Nobody will get it to it at the end. But I really don't think anybody, there's a couple teams that are playing really lights out. And then otherwise, it's just a shit show. 10th. 10th are Weibo. Weibo dropping 1 spot. Lost to EDG today. 2-1 in a series that was nowhere close to a blowout. Game 3, EDG it was a slow, boring game. The Shy inted in this series in Game 1. Ale definitely getting the better of him. So 7-4, 2-1 this past week, and beat LGD and Anyone's Legend, which are 2 complete stinky teams. They are very bad. So Weibo beating them. They're not dropping farther than 10th because they went 2-1. They lost to a team that's up here. All you've done is shown me that it can't be EDG. You still are what you are. 9th, G2 moving up 3 spots. If I was a betting person, I would say G2 wins spring. I did put in the Discord, and somebody said it wouldn't be worth it due to championship points, but I did the math. G2 could finish 5th in, third in summer and still have probably enough championship points to go to Worlds. Excuse me, part of me said to myself, G2 should really uh, field a, like, they don't have an academy team. They have G2 Hell. They have the all women's team or female team. I don't know what the deal is exactly, but and that's a really good team in their league. So part of me was like, why? I mean, just throwing it out there, G2 could theoretically play that team and then send G2 to Korea to boot camp or China or wherever for the split, and theoretically get better practice leading into MSI. I don't think that is too crazy. Now, somebody said, well, the last time we saw an all women's team, it was in Russia. It didn't win. It sucked. And it's like, that team was a marketing ploy that was all diamond players that were not very good. Like, it was clearly a marketing thing. Where G2 Hell looks like a team that's actually got good players on it. So, not saying that they would win the LEC or anything, but I also don't think they would go winless. I don't think that they're that would be in that position. Now, I think there will be some, sexism and things that might result from even bringing this up, but it's good to kind of, uncover those animals with thoughts like this to warrant off the, the cretins that might come out of, their caves when even thinking about women playing in a major region. That's scary. That's scary. The whole gold level player, their ego. Oh my God, a woman's on the stage and I'm gold and I can't even get to diamond. Oh my God. 8th top. Moving down 4 spots. They lost to RNG. They're 8-3. Shoot. Went 8-3. They're 8-3 on the split. Went 1-1 this past week. Beat RNG. Good job. Got smoked by LNG today. Not good. They're dropping. This was a long time coming. Their bot lane has been very disappointing, and it came to a head. They're 8th. That bot lane needs to perform. There are teams with worse bot lanes that are doing better than you. It's not acceptable. Jackie Love and Mark need to step it up. Rookie is doing all he can. Tien is Tien, so he can only do so much. And at a very high level, mind you, Tien and Peanut, in my opinion. Speaking of Peanut, we're going to segue into 7th with Gen G, but very similar players. I don't expect either to carry. And the bot lane of top needs to. Gen G are 7th. Dropping 4 spots. Lost to KT. That was a skill check. KT went 2-0 against them. Maybe they don't have it against KT. KT are a little more erratic, don't get me wrong, but against the big dogs, Gen G have had some struggles. They've lost to T1 twice, KT twice. Beat Bro. Good for you. Good for you. I'm not a big Bro fan, if that isn't clear as day. If you play even slightly aggressive against Bro, they crumble. 6th is JDG. Also dropping 4. 8-3, 1-1. Beat Team World Elite. Good for you, World Elite. Not a very good team. OMG loss. Not good. Almost perfect gamed in game 2. Not acceptable. Through game 3. That's why they're not falling farther. They got 2-0'd. We might be talking about JDG, maybe Gen G being above JDG, because Gen G not as quite of an ugly week. Maybe top are above JDG. JDG is still a very, very good team. Segueing into 5th place is LNG, who they play this week. And LNG move up 2 spots. Definitely a tough time moving them up, though. I'm not going to lie. They beat top, like I said, soundly. So I was going to put them above top. Lost to EDG. Not good. Lost to EDG. And EDG beat them, I think, 2-0. So, wasn't close. So, with that in mind, I had a tough time trying to figure out how I wanted to really throw together these LPL teams. I think they're all very, very close to each other for different reasons. And it's going to be an interesting playoffs because of that. And then where to stick Gen G, who has Doran, who not a, like Doran is coin flip. And the bot lane is very young and raw and makes some mistakes. Like to rank Gen G in here, Chovy not doing what he needs to do, in my opinion. It's a difficult situation. Fourth, KT, moving up 6 spots. KT are performing very, very well. Beat Gen G, beat Sandbox. 2 teams ranked above them in my power rankings. 2 teams they needed to beat. They have shown the ability to play against the top teams at a very high level, this split. So, losing games they shouldn't, not good. But beating who they need to beat. And come playoff time, maybe these matchups are just good for them, and they will succeed because these matchups work. Against Gen G, they have a bot lane advantage. BDD, fitting this meta better than Chovy, doing more work than Chovy is, in my opinion. Keen, playing like the best top laner in the world. His Ornn game was still very good and impactful. So, KT fourth, that is pretty stout. And then third is D+. Moving up 5. Beat DRX, beat HLE. They're 10-4. Tied for second. Moving up from 8th place. I think they're very high. I mean, D+ have always been a team that I thought would finish second. Going into the year, I had it T1 on their own, and T1 still are on their own in terms of level of play in the world. T1 are way, way up there. But it was then D+, and then it was KT, or was it HLE? I think it might have been HLE, and then I had it KT. It was KT, Gen G, DRX, in whatever order you wanted it to be. In the end, Sandbox replaces DRX. But nevertheless, D+ being up here was always something I thought was possible. It's what I had projected. They could lose this week and go 0-2 and drop down, and it's whatever to me. I don't care. But I'm just saying I'm not shocked that they are starting to turn things around and make something happen. Now in third. Second, EDG moving up 3 spots. This goes to show why T1 are on their own. EDG being second is why. And we're going to just do T1 right now because, spoiler alert, they're first. EDG have played the cleanest League of Legends. If I were to have percentages of how many series would I say are clean versus dirty when it comes to LCK and LPL. West, it does not matter. Those regions are the dirtiest of dirty. So, excuse me. LCK and LPL. T1 throws some games. They do some weird drafts. They int, but they find a way to win because they are just better. EDG are playing at their best every series. Now they have 2 losses, and I think it was to IG and maybe JDG. And the IG loss, not great. Top 25 team, but not one that you'd like to have back. But they utilize Ale very well. JJ is doing his thing. Am I a JJ fan? No. But is JJ doing his job? Yes. He's doing it well. Fofo, I do not. Fofo is playing extremely well. Extremely well. And that's the big question mark on how long can EDG stay up here. It all comes down to Fofo, JJ and Fofo. Even going into the year, EDG fans in the Discord were concerned. And everyone's all of a sudden turning coat and being like, oh, what? And it's fine. I mean, that is reality, but it's also a reality that this was a massive question mark. And frankly, I think it still is. In best of fives, I am curious, can Fofo hold up against Scout, Knight, Rookie, Jahu? Can he do that? Can JJ hold up against Tarzan, who is playing very well? Kanavi, who's inting his face off? Tien, in my opinion, Tien's just a better JJ. Karsa, a better JJ. So, like, that's the thing with EDG. And then you got T1, who I said plays dirty. They do play dirty. And not in a cheating way, but this is not clean, but you're winning sort of way. Which is why they lost at Worlds. And one makes me wonder, is that a coaching thing? We got a former very good player as a coach. Still figuring out how they want to do things. They beat KDF and Bro last week. Good for you. EDG beat LNG and Weibo. Those are two elite teams. Top 9, right? So EDG earned the right to move up. But there are still a lot of questions to be answered. We'll see what happens with that. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube member, and thank you for watching.